Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Guitar Talk. I'm your host, Mike Higgins, and it's great to have you on board with us for this episode. We like to talk about guitars and all kinds of music, especially Americana music, blues and folk and soul, country music, early rock and roll. But if there's a guitar in it, I probably like it. And as you know from past episodes, we've stretched out a little bit. We featured some other instruments in addition to the guitar, and today will be no exception to that. I'm very excited about today's guest. She is an award-winning vocalist who has won the 2010 Massachusetts Blues Challenge, and she was Best Blues R&B Act and Best Female Vocalist in 2007 by the Providence Phoenix, and also nominated Best Local Blues Act by Motif Magazine. She started on local stages here in New England, and now she's traveling the world with Ronnie Earl and the Broadcasters. She's a dynamite, soulful singer, a great harp player, and it's really wonderful today, ladies and gentlemen, to have Diane Blue with us. Hi, Diane.
Hi, Mike.
Welcome aboard.
Thanks for having me.
It's great. So your schedule's been pretty crazy this last year or so.
Yeah.
I've been following some of your jobs and the touring, and it's pretty nonstop. And you managed to hold a family and a day job together while doing all that.
Yep. Yeah.
So is sleeping anywhere in the equation?
Yeah, I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yep.
Folks, Diane's performed here in Taunton now a couple times at the Sandbar Grill. We have a weekly series every Thursday night. You can catch people at this level. And she'll be coming in again this year, so stay tuned for that announcement. You got your start locally, Providence area, you were saying a little bit earlier?
Yeah, I was living in Newport, Rhode Island at the time, and a friend of mine plays guitar, and we were just kind of playing and singing in my living room, and did that for a few months, and then he forced me to go to an open mic, my first one when I was about 25.
Wow.
And he encouraged me from there, and since I never looked back, I just can't stop doing it now.
Once they let that out of the barn, there was no coming back. That's awesome. The open mic is perfect for exactly that. Mm-hmm. I mean, undiscovered talent, people that just want to get out there and give it a try. Mm-hmm. Not everybody winds up touring the world with Ronnie Earl and the Broadcasters, though, after going on an open mic. So obviously somebody heard something special. Did you sing first, or did you play harp first?
I sang first.
You did?
Yeah. I've, like a lot of singers, I used to sing in choir when I was younger. And I just sang a lot of folky stuff and acoustic stuff, and my very first blues song was Women Be Wise, the one that Sippy Wallace did. And
Sippy's awesome.
Yep. And my friend who encouraged me to sing gave me a harmonica and said, try it out, see what you can do. And
wow.
He suggested listening to Little Walter and James Cotton and all the greats.
Yeah.
And gave me some tapes back when cassettes were the thing.
Yes.
And I used to listen to that stuff in my car and play at the stoplights and practice just a few minutes every day in between the day jobs.
Once that stuff speaks to you and it's in your soul, mm-hmm. life is never the same again. It really isn't. It changes everything, and it doesn't matter if it hits you when you're 10 or when you're 50. That music is just, because it comes from the soul, mm-hmm. and if you're mm-hmm. open to it, you're gonna feel what it does and changes you. It's unbelievable what a mm-hmm. powerful force. And you mentioned the choir. Blues, country, church music. This is all first cousins. This is all, mm-hmm. This is the real deal.
Yeah.
So that's good that you got your feet right in that early music like that.
Yeah. Well, my dad always loved music too. We always had the phonograph, the big console phonograph, playing records in the house, and my mom would sing in the house. And my father worked 2 jobs to bring up 8 kids and never
God
had
bless him.
the time to really devote to music, but he loved music.
Yeah.
So when he retired, when he was 62, my mother bought him an organ and some lessons, and he played piano for quite a few years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you first started playing out, you were just singing before you
Yeah.
got competent on the harp, where you'd bring that out in public.
Yep.
Did you start right off enjoying the soul singers? Because when I hear you play now, I mean, I can hear some of the folky roots, but not much. I hear when you do Etta and Gladys, it seems like you've really channeled those people.
Gladys was one of my favorite records that we used to play at home.
Yeah.
I always loved to listen to her because her voice is so rich and strong. She's my favorite. And of course, Aretha Franklin is also way up there in my favorites.
Shout out and a prayer for Aretha too. She's
amen.
struggling. Yeah.
Yep.
Gladys, to me, like you say, that my two faves are probably her and Mavis Staples.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing.
There's a
too.
thickness and a character in their voices that you don't hear in anybody else. They're really original, unique singers.
It's true.
And I mean, when I hear you tackling Etta James, I mean, if you're going to do that song, you better bring it. You know, you can't halfway do one of those songs, and you put yourself into that 150%. And
Thank you.
your band is great. I haven't had the chance yet to hear you with Ronnie, but the band that I've seen you with a couple of times, they're really solid plays, and they do a great job of really supporting your voice.
Yeah, they
They
do.
really do. Who are the guys in your band? Let's give them a little kudos.
Well, most of the time, I have Steve Bancuti playing drums and Johnny Juxo playing keys
Johnny
and singing.
Juxo, I played with him. He's great.
He's a great entertainer. Bobby Gus on guitar.
Yep.
And most often on bass, we have Sven Larsson.
Okay.
But they're all freelancers, and I take a gig if I'm open.
Right.
And I have a sort of a stable of musicians that know my
They know the set.
my book, and
Right. That's how to do it, and I think
that's how it goes.
that's what we see now with everybody.
Yeah.
I mean everybody.
Yeah.
There's guys, trying to stay busy.
They're trying to make a living.
There's less venues to play at, so when gigs come up, you got to grab them. And some of these bass players that are out there that I'm watching, they probably know 5 guys' songbooks. They might know your book, they might know Duke's book or Neil's book or
Yeah.
everybody else, because you never know when the call's going to come that there's a gig. So tell us how the Ronnie Earl opportunity came into your life.
Well, it came about in a roundabout fashion because I was introduced to Roberto Morbioli, who's an Italian
Yep.
guitarist who's played here in the United States quite often. He brought me to Europe with him, and when he came back, I said, well, I'm going to try to book some gigs for you. And one of the gigs that we did was just a duo gig, and Roberto had been interviewed in the newspaper, and they asked him who his main influence was, and he said Ronnie Earl, the best. And Ronnie saw that in the paper, and he came to our gig to meet him.
Isn't that something?
And Roberto was beside himself.
I can only imagine.
To
He
meet
must have
him.
been over the moon.
And not only did he shake hands with him, Ronnie brought his guitar, and he sat in with us that night. So he took my card, and he started to ask me to sit in with him. And I wasn't really a part of the band, but I knew a couple of songs, and he'd ask me, he would test me. He would just start off in a shuffle, and I didn't know what song he wanted me to do, or I would just come out and sing whatever
Right.
came to my head.
Right.
And after a while, we started to get a little repertoire where I'd do 4 or 5 songs with him in a set. And after a few years, he asked me to be part of the band. So now I'm part of the band.
That's the dream story. I mean, that's the way everybody would like it to happen.
I feel very blessed.
You meet someone you admire, and next thing you know, you're playing with them, and
Yeah.
then you're on the stage at the Chicago Blues Festival.
He's a living legend.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I
amazing.
remember when he first joined Roomful. I wasn't aware of him prior to that. I didn't know he'd been playing. And then he was a school teacher, wasn't he, in his younger years?
He was a special ed teacher.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember him talking about that, and I'm like, wow, he's going to do that in the morning and doing these blues gigs at night. I mean, this guy's got some stamina, you know. And I said, I gotta go see who this is. And I think I saw him for the first time at Lupo's with Roomful, and I was like, ooh, this guy's phenomenal. You know. And then, of course, he grew into a worldwide recognized legend of the blues within a very short time after that. You know.
Yep.
So that band elevated him quite a bit too, even prior to the broadcasters. And but you could tell, to me, the broadcasters did for him what the Pleasure Kings did for Duke. He really spread his wings then. Then he was, to me, he was everything he was supposed to be.
Right.
It was just fantastic to see that, you know.
Yeah.
And for you to be part of that band is just fantastic. And
It's amazing.
you mentioned you guys are going to do a concert for the soldiers, for the veterans.
We are. They do a concert in Woburn, I think it is. It's on Ronnie's website.
Yes.
It's going to be in September, and it's Blues for the Veterans. So they raise money for vets.
What a great thing. That's a great thing to give back like that, especially to the vets.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Now, you've got a guitar over there that that's an old Gibson, my friends, from the 50s. We haven't narrowed down the year yet, but we will for you, and we'll report back to you. But the condition of that is fantastic. Look at the finish. It looks like a new guitar. There's some beautiful weather checking on it, and what we like to refer to in the vintage world is a patina. And it's magnificent. It's an original P90 pickup, and the input jack has been changed due to an unfortunate mishap that happened many years ago.
Yep.
And the tuning keys. But other than that, she's in ship shape, and that's your dad's guitar.
Yes. Yep.
Outstanding, outstanding. Those, finding them in this condition, from this era, is getting to be nearly impossible. So it's really a testament to the good fortune that one's gone through, and through so many folks in your family that have probably banged it around and played it, and
Yep.
here it is. You have a special song that you'd like to play on that guitar.
I do. I wrote a song shortly after my mother passed away. She passed away 15 years ago, and my parents had been, excuse me, my parents had been married for 55 years.
That's
and
phenomenal.
As you can imagine, my father was very distraught when she passed. He was kind of lost.
I bet.
And he would start his day, he'd get up, sit on the edge of the bed, and cry because she wasn't there. So that was the inspiration for this song.
Yeah. What have you named the song?
It's called Cry Daddy.
That's awesome. Well, if
And
you
it's on my new CD.
It is. We can't wait to hear it. Well, why don't we play it?
Okay.
Let the folks.
Just want to tell the people out there, I'm not really a guitar player. I just play one on TV.
That's okay. We've never played this song together, folks, but I promise not to wreck it.
Oh, I don't have my keyboard. It's going to be G.
Okay.
There's a pretty little girl at the top of the stairs with a pretty little blue ribbon tied to the back of her hair. She's got a pretty little blue dress on, and she's going to church to pray, 'cause her mama went to see Jesus today. She walked to the little white church with her daddy by her side. She took his hand so tightly while the big strong man cried. She was stronger than her daddy, she was wiser than her years, and she softly took her hand and wiped away his tears and said to him, "Cry, Daddy, cry, because you loved her so. Cry if you want to, but there's something that you should know. Mama told me not to worry. She told me she would be okay. You know, Mama's in the hands of Jesus today. Well, he looked at his little girl and he stopped in his tracks. Took her in his arms and she hugged him right back. She had a pretty little sad smile and her mama's big brown eyes. And she looked at him and said, Daddy, I don't want you to cry, but if you need to, then cry, Daddy, cry, because you loved us. Cry if you want to, but there's something that you should know. Mama told me not to worry. She told me she'd be okay. You know, Mama's in the hands of Jesus too. Oh yeah, Mama's in a very beautiful place. You got to believe. Oh yeah, Mama's in the hands of Jesus today.
Oh, that is so nice. What a great song.
Thank you.
That chorus is going to get everybody crying.
It's
No doubt about it. That's wonderful.
tricky for me not to.
Yes, I know. And your CD is available off your website?
Yep.
And
it's
what's the
also on-
website?
It's dianebluemusic.com.
Very good. DianeBlueMusic.com. Get yourself over there and get a CD. All Diane's shows are listed there. You can read up about what she's up to. We're going to go to a public service announcement right now, my friends, so stick around. We'll be right back with you. Welcome back to Guitar Talk, folks. It's great to have you with us today. And I'd just like to let you know that if you've got an interesting guitar at home and you'd like to share it with the viewers, reach out to us because I'd love to have you on the show. I love talking about unusual instruments. They don't always have to be old. We certainly love vintage equipment, but if you've got something custom made or just something you're really proud of, that's what this show's all about. As I mentioned earlier, and as you just got to hear, we have Diane Blue with us today, and that was a fantastic original composition. She wrote for her dad and played it on her dad's original Gibson guitar from the 50s. I still do collect guitars. Many of them have come and gone. But boy, when you got something like that that comes from a family member, from your own dad, that stays forever and ever from the grandbabies right down the line. And it's so good that that's managed to find its home right with you, you know?
Very happy about that.
That's really good.
I have to say, he originally gave it to my brother, and when my brother was moving to California, he simplified and gave it to me, and
Wow.
I'm grateful to him for
Now,
giving
did you already know a few chords by then?
Yeah, my sister Jackie knew some 3 chords is all you need, right?
3 chords in the tooth will get it done.
That's it. She taught me 3 chords when I was 12.
Wow.
And I used to play in my room, and I was too shy to play in front of anybody else. And
Now you're belting out Etta James at the edge of the stage. That's quite an evolution,
come a
no
long
doubt
way.
about it.
Yes.
You play all over the country now with Ronnie Earl and the Broadcasters.
That's true.
Yeah, that must be quite a thing to make it home for Monday.
Yeah.
You know, that's your brain's still probably like completely wrapped into the shows and all the excitement that comes with it, and then it's like, okay, now I gotta go to work. You know.
Yeah, I've been living a dual life for a long time.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and I think that's what everybody
used to it.
does now. I mean, everybody that's touring, there's a few I run into that still forge ahead full time and try to make a go of it that way. But it's tough. It's
it's
tough
a hard
out
life.
there.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I do the senior music, as you know. We've had the opportunity to do a couple shows for your dad together, and for me, that's been a whole direction in life that I would have never expected I'd have gone in if you'd have asked me in the 70s. But it allows me to be a musician on a full-time basis and bring the music to a place that it really does some good.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
When you see their faces light up and they start to sing with you and their heads bopping around and they smile.
It's unbelievable.
It's amazing.
It really is. It's been a game changer. Tell me a couple of celebrity moments you might have had on tour. Have you gotten to meet any big idols that really made you like, wow, I can't believe I'm standing here with this person kind of feeling?
Well, I played the Chicago Blues Festival. That was pretty amazing.
Everybody's there.
Otis Rush was right on the side of the stage.
Wow.
They brought him in his wheelchair because, as you know, he had a stroke a
Yeah.
few years back, and that was truly amazing. It was such a great vibe on that stage. It was an hour set, maybe 90 minutes, and he had 2 iterations of his band, I think, and all of the players that played with him cycled through on the stage.
Wow.
And players who were heavily influenced by him were also invited to play in tribute to him. And that included Ronnie Earl, who is heavily influenced by Otis.
That's for sure.
And Mike Welch,
Yeah.
also from Boston, as well as Mike Ledbetter. And that's where Mike Welch and Mike Ledbetter met.
Oh, wow. And now they're working together.
Now they're working together, taking on the world.
You can hear there's a way that notes are bent. It's your fingerprint. There's no doubt about it. And when it comes to blues guitar playing, and I can hear Otis's fingerprint in 1 second when I hear Ronnie bend a note, and I know he's in an Otis mindset.
Yep.
I know where he's going. I hear it, and I heard it in Mike Welch a long time ago. I'm like, that kid's listened to Otis Rush a lot.
Yep.
You know, and he's become a fabulous guitar player.
Yep.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, these people, the influence they've had. Otis is a big one. I mean, Led Zeppelin. I mean, they, pretty much stole music from him,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can hear it. You can hear it, but it's wonderful that you got to sit on that bandstand. Let's play some blues
Okay.
for the folks as we get ready to sign off. We'd like to thank everybody for joining us with Diane Blue. You can see her with her own band, and you can find her all over the globe with Ronnie Earl and the Broadcasters. And go to that website, folks, buy some music. But thanks for being with us. God bless you all. And get out there and support live music, because without you guys, we don't have nothing to do.
Amen.
Key of D work for you?
Sure. when you're suffering, feeling pain, when your skies are so gray and all it seems to do is rain, I'm here to tell you that's what we call the blues. I'm here to tell you that's what we call the blues.
Take us home now, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, folks. God bless you all. We'll see you soon. Get out there and find some Diane Blue music. Your life will be better for it. Take care.